Hi S1s, and welcome to a video tutorial I'm going to give you on how to use Digimaps for schools. A brilliant website I'd like you to try and access and browse through. Now this is an optional lesson just to add a bit of color to your fieldwork, which I've set you the other week, and I'd like back by the end of next week if possible, where you're doing a fieldwork task. This is just an optional task if you want to just browse through the website, add a bit of color and create your own map of where you live with some annotations in. So, and also we want to be using this website a lot more when we're back in school. So I thought you could spend an hour or so next week if you have time to just browse through the website and do this task. It'll be a great way to kill some time. Okay, so here's the username, EH104LR. You're logging on to digimapsforschools.edina.ac.uk/login. The password is PLOAPS6897. I've posted that on Teams. Just click login. And it'll take you to a page which looks like this, a map of the United Kingdom, and all these interesting menus sidebar over here, but don't worry about that at the moment. What you want to concern yourself with is this search box here. Now the task is to remember what your local area is like. So in this case, I'm assuming many of you live in the south of Edinburgh. What we're going to be doing is creating a map of our local area with a couple of key boxes in that map and some markers and then download it as a PDF, and it'll be a nice kind of annotated map of where you live and trying to give information on what your local area is like. Now you're going to find this task easier to do once you've done your environmental quality surveys for your field work. But what you want to do is you want to go onto and search where you live. So let's type in, for example, Greenbank, okay, a neighbourhood in Edinburgh. Now you'll have all different greenbanks which exist around the country. You want to be looking obviously for the one in Edinburgh. So if you can't find that, you might want to just make your search a little bit more specific. There we go, Greenbank, Edinburgh. I'll take you to a map of Greenbank. Now what you want to then be doing is going to this zoom in function, clicking that and zooming in a little bit more so you can see more of a close-up version of this map. Okay, closer even more. So you can see Greenbank over here. All right, let's look at it a little bit more. The closer you are, the better you can get a more specific kind of overview of what the area is like. Okay, so we've got a map of Greenbank here. Now what I'm asking you to do is just add a little bit of information to this map. So for example, you want to be, cancel that, going on to the drawing tools, and you want to be going on to draw and create, you can see, and placing a couple of text boxes on areas which are high and low environmental quality. Now you click on that. And let's say, for example, that you live on Little John Road, and the first environmental quality survey you did was your house. You want to click that and place an environmental quality. And you want to add a bit of information as to what the score was and why it was such a nice area or wasn't a nice area. So I did something earlier. Okay, so you might want to do something like this. The location has a positive environmental quality score of 16/20 out of 20 due to it being well kept and litter free. Okay, so now you've added a text box onto your map to give it a bit more information. Now, every time you click on something, the text box will appear. Now, if you want to make sure that you want to just keep one textbook for one area and one textbook for another area. So I don't want to be using this textbook at the moment, so I'm going to want to delete that. So, what I do is I go onto this one, which is basically says select features by box. I put a box around that, and then I go on to delete selected features, and it should get rid of that. Okay, so have a couple of text boxes around the map for areas you went to, maybe a couple of areas. You might want to have one over here in this green space and say this is also high environmental quality. And you can add a couple of markers with some stickers over here, so you can add the smiley face of places you went during your field work. So you went Rattray Drive, you also went to Rattray Crescent, and maybe if you were really lucky and you had a bit of extra time outdoors, you went all the way to Little John Wynd over there, okay? So you went to 3 areas. You've got a nice map now with some good information on. Okay, and you can even draw a line. You have to click on it, and click on it again, and click on it again, and click on it again, and this will show you the route you took. And double click. Well, it should work. But there you get the route over there, okay? Now, if you want to double click that, double click to stop drawing, it says at the bottom. There we go. Now, in terms of creating your map, this should take about 15-20 minutes, but you might want to spend a bit longer. You can go up here and then go on to generate a file for printing. You want to give your map a title, so let's do Green Bank Fieldwork PDF. You can add some national grid lines if you want, which will give you the coordinates. You can add a legend, so a key at the bottom, so that would be quite useful. Generate print file, but you're not printing it. What you're doing is you're creating a PDF version of it, so you can send me all your amazing work. This may take a while. A cup of tea, glass of juice, walk the dog. So the great thing about Digimaps is that it shows you all these amazing different types of maps, local areas, national areas, historical maps. It shows you aerial maps, modern survey maps, different locations and areas in the UK. And you can play around with it a bit. You can add some color to your map, you can add your route, you can add markers, you can add text boxes, you can even add images. So you want to be spending an hour or so this week logging into this website and just browsing through and seeing what amazing things you can do regarding it. This is taking a little bit of time. Now the legend over here is basically showing you the key and the information. That's probably why it's taking longer than normal. If you are struggling for time and you want to kind of process it quite quickly, maybe don't add the national grid lines and legend, just keep it to what you've done so far. But hopefully it should give you a map. While that's loading, I'll show you what examples of maps that I've done last night. Go to my downloads. As you can see, I've done a few maps here. Let's open this one up. And it should create a PDF version, which will be on your downloads. See? And you've got like a scale at the bottom and the compass direction here. It's going to say Burmere High School, and you've got the map there. And then you can crop it also if you go into edit, and you can take a snapshot, or you can select parts of it. Let's see if it's finished loading. Well, it's still generating, but your map should look something a bit like this at the end with your text boxes. Save it, send it to me, and you should have a nice map of your area with a bit of information added.